Hello everyone and welcome back to Tutorials of Tone. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for watching. What we're dealing with today is an updated version of my Livin' on a Prayer preset, which I just released earlier this week. Do you ever have one of those moments where you finish a homework assignment or a recording or a video and you just keep thinking back to yourself after it's done, oh man, I could have done this, and this better. I could have improved on this. I wish I would have. Well, I had that the moment I uploaded this video because I realized in the 3 years since I first created it, I hadn't updated it. And I've made a Rocky Mountain Way preset, something for Aerosmith, a little bit of Peter Frampton, and I've improved on this TalkBox sound, and I never went back and updated this. So what we're dealing with today is V2 and all of the adjustments that I made. If you want to deep dive into the other things that don't set these two apart and just how to build this preset, that is available on YouTube. Both of these presets will be available at the link in the description of both videos and also on AxeChange for free. So check that out if you're looking for a deep dive. But we're going to go give a brief overview of all the components. We're going to compare and contrast the two and find a way to get a happy medium between the two sounds to get the most out of our TalkBox tone. So let's dive right in. First up, we have V1. So this has a formant block, which is our TalkBox sound, accentuated by the wah, and a dry, unprocessed signal of the distorted amp. And it sounds like this. I've always liked that. It's always worked really well in a live context. But let's hear it A-B'd with V2. Now in this version, we don't have any of that process signal because we have a filter block running with the bypass mode set to mute. And this is what it sounds like. Holy TalkBox. That's so much cooler. It's so much more TalkBox. That effect is really pronounced. You gotta turn up the volume on these scenes, this and the lead, to accentuate a little bit more of those high-end things that aren't getting hit by the formant or the wah blocks on their filter sweep. And then I also added, on V2, a multi-band compressor to help tame those lows and those low mids to help even out the tone a little bit. Now, that's all well and good, having a lot of the TalkBox sound and getting your, perceived levels between this and the crunch tone even. What you might run into, though, is when you're playing those leads in the second verse, that some of these pitches are popping out because of where the pedal is sweeping the spectrum in that EQ curve. And certain things are just not cutting through the mix. You're kind of getting buried. And so without the dry, unprocessed signal, it's a little bit more unwieldy, and it'll sound like this. Now you can hear some of those pitches just stand out like a sore thumb, but others retreat back. And we want this to be a little more consistent so it cuts through a mix. But we don't want to totally sacrifice our tone, our TalkBox sound, the sonic signature of this tune. So we're going to utilize this muted filter block and try to incorporate some of that dry, unprocessed signal in order to help compress and keep things even. So bringing this in, completely formant block, completely TalkBox on a rhythm sound is like this. If we bring this level in, where we can start to hear it, probably around -20 dB. We start to get a little bit of that to help support the TalkBox sound, but it's not overpowering. If we bring it up to about where I like it, negative 14 to 15 range. If we bring that, split the difference between unity, we get this. And if we had our standard V1 sound without the filter block, we'd have this. So probably too much of that dry signal to really get the full scope of that TalkBox tone. So like I said, setting to negative 15 and using that either just for the lead to help it pop out. So we'd be playing like this. Switching over. Really helps that solo pop. You could also filter this in on your rhythm tone if you really want that to be smooth and even in a way that doesn't totally compromise the formant block and that TalkBox tone. And as you can see at the very end of this chain, I have a multi-band compressor. This is just helping even things out. It's set relatively flat. All of the levels are at 0. The crossover at 120 Hertz and 500 Hertz. We're really trying to pull down those lows and those low mids that keep jumping out from the formant block and the wah block. And this really helps keep that nice and even and help accentuate some of those mids and those high mids that help us cut through a mix. So this is V2 of Livin' on a Prayer. You can get both of these via the links in the descriptions of both videos. The links to the Exchange presets are there. If you liked this video, watch more videos. Just have fun if this is being helpful for you. I hope that other videos are helpful for you as well. If you have any comments, suggestions, improvement tips on any of the things that you see, please feel free to write a comment or reach out. I'm always happy to do that. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, I'd love to hear about them. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying this. And we'll see you all next time.